Man, you have really nailed this. This is amazing. Like, you actually know this. This is the story, like to the T. Like,
So, Nate, your single Whiskey on You is currently sitting at the top end of the American country charts. I see that you co-wrote this song with Russell Sutton and Lindsay Rhymes, who also produced it. Tell me a bit about how this song came together, would you?
first of all, I can't believe it's sitting at number 10 right now. I just found this out yesterday, and I flipped out. Like, I got a few text messages from my friends, and that's a crazy, crazy feeling that I cannot describe. But the song came about through personal experience. I actually went through a breakup, and I was kind of mad, and I went to a writer's retreat 2 days after I wrote the song, and ended up writing the song, and just kind of putting my heart into it, and just going, you know what, like, I'm not gonna let a breakup, keep me down. So it kind of has this. I don't know if you feel this way, but I put like empowerment into the song. Like, I wanted people to feel like, oh, I've got this. I'm gonna be okay. Like, I'm gonna get through this. I'm gonna go have fun, and like, that's what I want people to get from the song is that feeling of empowerment.
No, that definitely comes across. Tell me about the latest song you've just released. Very soulful, Wreckage.
Oh yeah, Wreckage, man. So I just put that one out. I wrote it probably a year and a half ago already. And it's been one that I've been kind of sitting on and stuff. And my buddy Joel Briere produced it. So he produced Under My Skin and Sleeve, and I Don't Want to Go to Heaven. He's produced those songs as well. But yeah, the song really came from a place of it's my belief. I'm not currently experiencing this, but I think that the most beautiful thing in a relationship is when someone can see all the baggage in your life, all the things that you've been through, and it's not pretty. We've been through a lot of things. You've probably been through a lot of things in your life and everything, but seeing those things and going like, I love you for it. I love you anyways, and I accept you exactly who you are. I think that there's something really beautiful and magical about that. So I just really wanted to capture that in the song. I wanted people to experience that level of love.
So both these songs, Whiskey on You and Wreckage, are going to feature on your self-titled debut album. That's coming on the 17th of February. There's a generous 20 songs on this, I think 14 of which you co-wrote. But what really caught my attention is it's been mixed by Serban Gania, one of the most in-demand
Oh,
sound engineers around. How did you get a hold of him?
oh my God. I just asked really nicely. And I'll tell you what, not only is Serban the best mixing engineer in the world, like, he really, truly is, he's also like such a pro in the sense of, like, he's a good person. Like, we spent many, a lot of time on the phone, going back and forth. He would ask me, what do you think about this and that? And that would let me have the input. And I'm like, I trust you, first of all, like, whatever you do is going to be great. But really, like, came at it like a friendship, and he's somebody that, like, I fully trust. So it was amazing to work with Serban, and honestly, like, the product that we got out of it, I'm like, this is insane. Like, this is so good. Like, I can't believe it.
What I love is, your backstory. It's almost to this point anyway, in many respects, played out like a country song. You were born on an Air Force base in Spokane, Washington, and
Yes.
with your father being in the military, the family moved around quite a bit before settling in Paradise, California. You yourself started singing around the age of 9. You picked up a guitar at 13. I love that your earliest musical influences are all over the spectrum: Elvis, Garth Brooks, Bob Seger, Michael Jackson, Nirvana. Is it true that you left high school before graduating to go to Oregon and join a Christian rock
Wow.
band?
You really know. This is amazing. Like, yes, that's exactly what happened. I did. I left school and went up there, joined a rock band, lived on. Actually, one little funny side note is, so when I moved to Oregon, I didn't really have a place to live. So my buddy's grandma had this like warehouse that we would practice in, and so there was a couch in there. So what we'd do is we snuck me in there, and then at night we'd turn all the lights off and stuff, and I would sleep there every night. Like, that was my place.
Wow.
So like, she didn't know that she had this like teenager living in her warehouse right outside.
I think the weirdest thing is that teenager now has a top 10 hit.
I know. I can't believe it, man.
So you first moved to Nashville, I think it was 2008. You landed a publishing deal, and then following a divorce, you moved back to California. You
That's right.
then worked as a nursing assistant, and then there was this tragic, devastating fire that ripped through your hometown in 2018. I've seen the Netflix documentary. What is it? Rebuilding Paradise. Absolutely
Yes. Oh, you
fantastic.
saw
Yeah,
that? Oh,
yeah, I
yeah.
love it. Absolutely love it. Tell me a bit about, the sort of the move back, and then because I believe it was a friend of yours, a guy called Tom Beaupre, who has played
Yes.
bass for Florida Georgia Line for years. He randomly sent you a guitar, and then you wrote a song called One of These Days, and that was your path back into music.
That's right. That's exactly right. Man, you have really nailed this. This is amazing. Like you actually know this. This is the story, like to the T, like the people and everything. That means so much to me that you looked into that, man. That really does. Yeah. So I wrote this song One of These Days, and then put it up on Facebook. And then I noticed that a lot of people were commenting and sharing it and all this stuff. And people would reach out to me and be like, man, this is really helping me and my family right now to get through this. And so there was a few benefits that I did, and I ended up playing for some of the survivors in Chico at one of the hotels down there and everything, and was like, man, maybe I should record it and see if I can make some money to give back, to the community. Because I was lucky. I got to move in with my dad right after the fire, and a lot of people were still living in tents and in the Walmart parking lot, and were completely displaced. So I was like, maybe I could help a little bit. So I went to Nashville, recorded it. That's how I met Joel Briere, who produces a lot of my stuff, because he ended up mixing it.
Right.
So I came back, I put it up on Spotify and iTunes, all the streams that I made on that song, which wasn't a ton or anything like that, I gave to a single mom who was moving out of the area to rebuild her life, So it was the coolest thing was looking at her and going I feel like getting this guitar, I feel like writing this song, I feel like traveling to Nashville, recording it, and then putting it up online and stuff. I feel like all of this was meant for you. It was actually meant to help you, and it was this really cool moment that we had together, and we're hugging and crying, and I don't know, it inspired me to start doing music again. It did. It was man, I could make a difference.
And then your friends set up a GoFundMe to raise the cash
Yes.
to move back to Nashville. I think that was June or July of 2020. And then the day that you signed another publishing deal, you had $14 in your pocket.
Literally $14. I was out of money because my dad. So I got to Nashville. I actually got to zero, and then my dad sent me $500, and then that lasted me for a few weeks, for groceries and stuff like that. Then I was down to $14, and I had no way to pay my rent, and I wasn't overly worried. I was like, whatever it takes, if I have to just stay in the car or whatever we got to do, because I'd already done that on the trip moving out here. So yeah, it was just a blessing. And then I got my bonus, your advance, and made my bills. So
it really though drives home. There's a fine line between genius and insanity, and the balls that people have to go to Nashville, and the fine line between making it and not making it, right?
Yes, it really is. I mean, I really feel like you have to move here. There's no way around it. It does something to you.
TikTok in particular in recent years has become a massively effective tool for independent artists to expand their fan base and grab the attention of the big record labels. Two of your songs, which previously went viral on the platform, are now going to feature on the upcoming album. Sleeve and I Don't Want to Go to Heaven. You wrote I Don't Want to Go to Heaven with Dan Fernandez. Tell me about, I only asked this question because she was very recently in Belfast, and she just absolutely killed it. Tell me about your duet version of that song with Tenille Townes.
Yeah, Tenille is a sweetheart, first of all. She is so good. She's got one of my favorite voices in female country music. She's just incredible. Actually, in country music in general, she's amazing. But I was sitting down with the head of my record label, and he's like, we were talking about doing a duet on this song. I'm like, he's like, well, who do you have in mind, Nate? I'm like, if I could pick any female artist, it would be Tenille Townes. She's literally insane. And so I basically asked her, cold emailed her, and she said yes.
And back in April, you made your Opry debut, and you dedicated that to your grandparents. That must have been a wonderfully special full circle moment.
It was, because they passed away, and so they were a big part of the reason that I even know country music. My grandma and grandpa would listen to it all the time, and that's how I knew Patsy Cline and heard of Roy Rogers and all this stuff. It was because of them. So it breaks my heart that they can't be there, but I felt like they were there with me.
And earlier this year, you toured America playing shows with both Brett Eldridge and Larry Fleet. What did you take away from those experiences?
I just watched who they were as a leader, you know, like how do you run your team? How do you take care of the people around you? You know, what's your stage presence like? What is your organizational skills? So I really just, I went into both of those tours as just a student and just wanted to learn from those guys as people and then how they lead and stuff. And I've learned so much. I have a long ways to go. But honestly, like Brett taught me a lot. Like I was the opener, you know, and for the first tour, and then I was direct support for the second. But he treated me like I was headlining, like he really did. Like if there's anything me and my crew can get you, like this kind of thing, and you know, so it was pretty special to be involved in those.
And next year you're going to be on a massive, massive tour with Thomas Rhett and Cole Swindell. I mean, at the minute, are you just like jumping from one thing to the next, and is life moving so fast, or have you had any sort of a chance to take a step back and process? You know, you've got a top 10 hits, you've got an album on the way. Next year you're playing arenas. This is madness.
I feel, you know, it's funny. I need to process it. I really do. I need to process it, but I haven't sat there and just kind of like, and when I start to do that, I kind of go, okay, that's enough right now. Okay, it's all good. Like I just need to stay focused and stuff because you know, it can be weighty when you think about it like that. You know, I think it's important. Just I'm grateful. That's the one thing I am. I'm grateful for everything. But I'm just kind of walking through doors and just saying thank you and being grateful.